So lovely to be with you. We are never apart. Simply notice your experience as it is. It's a warm day here in Southern California. It's quite lovely. The body was moving around. So many things seemingly happened this morning. But in this moment, what is happening? Listening, being. A thought may appear, saying this or that is happening. And yet, where is that thought right now? Nowhere to be found. Where are all the events of this morning in this moment of presence? Instant by instant, perception appears and dissolves. as if words are being written, but there is no page or no paper, no. They dissolve as they are written. Isn't that your experience? Even the me story in this moment, it's a new story, or maybe no story, a new image, or maybe no image. Like in the night dream, a flow of images and sensations. By the time you take a snapshot, the image is gone. And in spite of this appearance and disappearance of the mind, there is that which neither appears nor disappears. Isn't that so? The reality of presence, awareness, consciousness. Which is neither born nor dies. We all know that our experience is a flow. That there is no past to hold on to, because you cannot go to the past and hold on to something. Nor can you go to the future. So either we are concerned about losing the past, which is no longer, or we are concerned about not reaching the future, which never is. It is relatively simple to comprehend that holding on to the past is sort of illogical, a sort of madness, and hoping to attain a future state or situation is equally illusory. And yet we do, in spite of that understanding, experience some sort of fear about ending, fear of ending. The only other candidate besides the past and the future, which are both some impossibility, is consciousness. But consciousness, which is that which we know as I, this somethingness rather than nothingness, this aware presence, does not arise in time, does not arise in space, and therefore cannot have a beginning and an ending. So the only way to experience a worry, any concern, any fear about ending is via the belief that I, as consciousness, will someday end. But when you look into that, into the beginning and ending of consciousness, you don't find a beginning or an ending. You always find consciousness. In relationships, we enjoy the love, the companionship, the sweetness of the relationship. Which is one of the ways in which we celebrate consciousness. The creation, the creativity of consciousness. We celebrate that, which is what we call life. So life is like the sound of the wind, the gurgle of the brook, the sounds of the birds, the taste of orange, the being together this way. The breath, the warmth of the body, the sound of traffic. Without any issue, without any problems. With the recognition, which is a relatively simple recognition, that every moment is birth and death. Every moment is the ending of the old and the arising of the new. In every instant, like the sensation of the wind on your face. Every instant it's fresh and new. The old sensation is replaced by a new sensation. which is that which we call life. Life being the unborn, life being consciousness, dancing, creating, and experiencing. Without being affected. So when we experience the sunset, consciousness does not become dark and does not become light with the sunrise. It's in spite of being the creator of all creation, it remains uncreated. It remains as it is, meaning I remain as I am. Sometimes you go through a death experience and you realize, or at least you get a glimpse of your immortality, of your eternity. There is the death of the illusion, the death of ignorance, the belief that I die, the death of the belief in death, in my death. This death is inevitable for our freedom to reveal itself. It's only the false so-called dies in fact it never was, and that which is never dies. So you can look in your experience to awaken to that which does not die. That which is not born and which does not die. That which doesn't appear or disappear. If you look at your experience, this moment, you can come to the understanding about that which you truly are, that which is beyond the impression of birth and death. And therefore you come to the understanding of the reality which everything and everyone is. That which is immortal. Which sometimes takes on the form of a cat or a dog or an orange or an apple or a cat, a fish, a star, a galaxy, the breath, a thought. So you can come upon that quality of consciousness, which is fearlessness. It's the greatest comfort, if one could say that. Greatest reassurance, fearlessness. And freedom from the impression of fear, impression of death and birth. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can go ahead. Any questions?
Hey, Magdi, I got a quick question.
Yes, Frank.
So do you think that as this process goes on of living more as the true self, as awareness, as consciousness, there's less of a sense of needing to, because my whole life, it's always been about somehow aggrandizing this body, mind, self of mine that felt like he was lacking here, lacking there. And I'm noticing a little bit of that. That's abating somewhat. Like I'm less, ready to jump at something that's going to make me feel like I'm a better version of me. So, and I think I'm also noticing that I'm less apt to feel minimized, although that's still there. I can still feel minimized by people, what they say to me and things like this, but it's getting better. So do you think that's a natural progression of seeing myself more as who I really am, which is awareness, consciousness, infinite consciousness? Although this is part of it. I think this body mind is part of this. There's only one thing, so this is part of it. But there's less of a need to have this, to have any, like, all these dreams fulfilled that I've had all my life and everything. Because even at this age, I still feel like, I had these dreams that I still feel like I need to, to see out, to pursue, and to see to fruition. But that's sort of, I think that's sort of like, but I also have the other thought that says, you're just giving up on life. You don't want to do that. You don't want to just sit back and just be completely happy with yourself exactly as you are. So what's your take on that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. So the identification with the body mind, with my history, with my image, with my past, with my ideas about myself, my sense of belonging to my tribe, whatever, that fades. It becomes more and more transparent, less and less dense, less and less a force in your life as you are contemplating your true nature, the reality of consciousness. The false, that which is the past, that which is never alive, that which is dead, the storyline about me, my past traumas, my past ideas, my future conditioned about how things should be, all of that starts to sort of become transparent. And as a result, you find yourself relieved from having to defend an image, project an image, justify yourself. You find that it's more, life becomes more of a flow, more of easier, less complicated. You don't have to carry, the backpack for your, every step you take, you're carrying all that stuff in your backpack. This does not at all mean that you become like a blob or something, like, I'm consciousness. No, that's not at all that. Life is dynamic. Life is, there's the senses, and the mind is alive, is relieved. Relieved from having to defend, having to project, having to polish the image or maintain the image or worry about the image. It's relieved from that. But being relieved from that does not mean it becomes dead. No, it's the opposite. It is like you polish a mirror. The mirror becomes clearer. It's because of the dust or the debris that was sort of stuck on the mirror. It becomes clearer. There are within your body-mind activities. I would love to. Save some money for buying a house, or for a trip that I'd like to do, or for a project that I would like to make. So well, I could buy and sell this, or I could join this corporation. What? So the mind is still active, and the body, of course, the body is alive, meaning the body is interactive. It's feeling, it's sensing, it's telling you, oh, okay, man, I had a really great dinner at 10:30 at night, and I was tossing and turning, between 2 in the morning until 4 in the morning. Yeah? So the body's telling you, and the body mind is saying, okay, well, yeah, maybe I'll have dinner at 7, or 6. But so life is still on, but without the unhappiness. Let's say with less and less unhappiness. How about that? So I don't be so idealistic. With less and less unhappiness. And in the absence of unhappiness, heck, I mean, I'm okay with that, right? I mean, so the absence of unhappiness is like lifting a veil from, in your perception and in your life. Now, yes, you are right that it's not instantaneous. We may still feel something unhappy when we're not being appreciated, or somebody ignores us, or whatever. Okay, there may still be the traces of the past, that may arise, but because we are in the contemplation of our true nature and not the impression, the me impression. The me impression likes to be praised, likes to be loved, likes to whatever, likes to be admired, likes to be put on a pedestal, whatever. But because we are interested in truth, which is a great interest, I mean, I'm completely on board for that, because of our interest in truth, then, yeah, somebody laughs at my image, so, okay, I'm all right with that, because you know what? I could laugh at my image too, I mean, because images can be really weird and funny, they could be, they're images. It's not that which I am, you see. So the understanding about that I am not what I imagine myself to be. I am not what other people's minds imagine myself to be. That which I am cannot be imagined. Consciousness, you cannot imagine it, because it is that which imagines. So that which imagines cannot be imagined. The eye that perceives, you cannot perceive the eye, as a metaphor. So as there is more and more clarity about the reality and the characteristics, let's say, of consciousness, the less you will find yourself, wrapped up into the image, and the more you find yourself living with harmony and synchronicity, and in a sense, some magic, and there's and happiness. It's a joyful thing. It's a joyful expression of consciousness. Life is a creation of consciousness. So the thought that says, oh, I don't want to be like a blob. I don't want to be, I want to live. I don't want to be like oh yeah, okay, I got it on consciousness. That thought is referring to the false I. It's because that thought doesn't know consciousness. So it makes a caricature of consciousness. It makes a caricature of consciousness as a couch potato guy, or, so it's, then you're seeing the caricature and you're identifying yourself with the couch potato. You see? So you say, oh my God, no, I don't want to be like a couch potato. But you are not going to be like the couch potato, because you are the one who's perceiving this image. You're perceiving the image of the couch potato. You are never an object or a form or an experience. You are not that. Of course, like right now, you experience, for example, the sensation of your feet on the ground, or the heat of your body, the warmth of your body. Because you experience that, doesn't mean that's what you are. It doesn't define you. It's just a characteristic of the body, or a sense of the organism, the relationship between the body and the earth, which we call the sensation of the feet on the ground. It's the dance. It's a dance of Shiva in a way. It's just in manifestation, but you are not defined by the manifestations. You come to more and more clarity that which you are is undefinable, but yet undeniable. You see, the undeniability is the absolute. It's absolute, and of course the undefinability is also absolute. Yes, Frank. Yeah.
Thank you, Maggie. That was perfect. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, cool. Okay. Richard, Patrick, excuse me, I see your hand is raised. So if you can unmute. Hi, Patrick. Yes, you can go ahead because your mic is turned on. So you can go ahead.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I do.
My question is this. I was introduced to this path about 16 years ago, and about 2 years ago I had a very substantial awakening experience, and so ever since then I've been integrating it into my life. But my primary mode of getting there is reading, watching YouTube videos, and that sort of thing. And my question is, do you think it's important to have a guru or some type of a personal relationship with someone that can help you through this process?
Yes. When you are on this path, Patrick, you will find that there are other people on the same path as you. Different places, quotes unquote, along the path, but you will find companions, sooner or later, that they strike, that you feel sympathetic towards them, you feel some affinity towards them, you like to sort of share with them or listen to them or explore some things, some of your understanding, or hear what they're and yes, it's true that there are for thousands of years of sages sharing has been recorded in various Upanishads and various records of but being in the presence and the company of a friend who with whom you can interact, and with whom you can explore your questions, somebody who has an understanding, and then is the best is, of course, if they are stabilized in the peace of being, stabilized in the happiness and the understanding. It is very, very helpful, because the mind is very complex, and there are many exit ramps along the path. You can sometimes you take an exit, you don't realize it's an exit because it's so well built, and you come to a small town, and you feel that you have arrived to your destination. So there are things like that, along the path, and a friend who has journeyed through, they have some familiarity and some understanding, and they have been exposed to the various complexities, or the various falls, along the path, and they can help you in shortening your journey, and in bringing some clarity for you, and then also besides that, it's not just about exploring the teaching with a teacher friend, but via questions or via some contemplations or meditations, but also in interacting in the life, if possible, in life interacting with a teacher friend. You at the feeling level, it's no longer at the understanding level. At the feeling level, there is sort of a, you tune, it's like a tune, you become in tune at the feeling level with the lived aspect of consciousness. And that is simply in rubbing elbows, I think is that the expression, rubbing elbows with a teacher friend. I like myself, I don't like the guru student format. It's not I feel that that in simply being together and exploring together, there's more a better way for today's age and time. Maybe in the older times, it was a different structure, different countries, different traditions, etc. But I feel that in today's time, just my perspective, the availability, the accessibility, availability, and the informal way of being with a teacher friend is a good way. So the short answer to your question is yes, it is. It is good, and it's important also, and it's important for you to do not short, what is the expression? Short yourself. Do not short yourself by settling for anything less than, like Francis sometimes used to say, the full enchilada, because, the experience you mentioned, an experience you had, it is an experience of God, of truth, of reality. So it's a sort of, like the clouds open and you see the sky, right? You get a glimpse of the sky. It's a very beautiful, oh, wow, But the mind then comes on board and says, oh, wow. Let's say the clouds are gray and there is an opening and there is a blue sky. The mind, after a while, it comes in and says, wow, I saw a really beautiful blue cloud among those dark clouds. The mind is objective. It has subject and object. So it will turn that which is beyond the mind, of course, a glimpse into God, into our true nature, into our essential being. There's no mind there. It's not you thinking about this. But then the mind then comes on board and makes a formulation, a narrative, in which it maintains the separation.
Yeah, that's been my biggest trip up over these past 2 years, is that my ego wants to benefit from the awakening.
Yes,
My
yes,
ego wants to be exalted by it.
yes, yes. So it's important to understand, Patrick, that an awakening, a glimpse, enlightenment, whichever way we call it, is an apperception. It's not like a mind perception, it's an apperception in the illusion of me, Patrick, me, the person with my story, my history, my past, my future. It's a glimpse into, oh, wow, that is illusion. And at the same time, it's a glimpse into our true nature. Our true nature are no words for it, but in which I speak about it, it's a glimpse into the unborn, that which is into reality. How about into reality? So reality, God or consciousness is absolute, meaning it's not real when you had the glimpse 2 years ago. 2 years ago, you had a glimpse into reality. The glimpse that you had into reality has to be reality right now. That reality, there isn't like the reality of enlightenment and now it's like, oh, now it's not real, let me find it. So the question is, what is that reality right now, Because the mind will create time and space and situations, says, oh, well, this, that. No, you had a glimpse into reality, into truth, whatever words you want to use. I understand, it doesn't matter. I understand what you're saying. You had a glimpse into that. Okay? That has to be present right now. Otherwise, it's something in the future. Good luck. Good luck chasing the future, because I've never experienced the future, nor have you. We've never experienced the future or the past. In fact, our experience is always now. So then the question comes to, okay, fine, the mind is saying blah, 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 blah. Good, no problem. I'm going to tell the mind, listen, mind, reality, I know there is reality, and reality must be real now. What is it that is real now? The mind would say, oh, well, it is this experience, that experience, this experience, that experience. Okay, and I'm going to say, well, show it to me right now. So you ask yourself, because you are you, so you have consciousness. So you ask yourself, what is it that is real right now? It's not Patrick, because Patrick appears to you as an image. It appears to you as a sensation, appears to you as a feeling or as a perception. You look in the image, you say, oh, that's Patrick, Or you look at your body, say, oh, that's Patrick. Whatever, that's Patrick's hand, So, but it's not, the reality is not Patrick, because Patrick appears to you. It appears to you. So there is the you, whatever that is, and there is Patrick, which appears. It appears, oh, I'm good Patrick, I'm bad Patrick, I'm great Patrick, I'm not so great Patrick, whatever. Okay? Patrick appears to you. What is the you? You see, it's not, who cares about the appearance? I mean, you drink a big bottle of I don't know what, then Patrick appears to you as, wow, I'm so groovy, or you lose money, then Patrick appears to you, oh, I'm so depressed, what's going to happen to me? It's an appearance. Appears to what? Something perceives. So the question then comes to, oh, aha, there is that which perceives. And then I ask myself, what is that which perceives? Obviously, there is perception right now. So the I, whatever that is, that which perceives, is present right now. It's present right now. So I look for it. Well, I look for it. And I find that, of course, I cannot find it, objectively. The only way I can find it is, I'm going to use the words subjectively, but okay, I can find it subjectively. Because why? Because I know I am. Not, I know I am a man or a woman or tall or short or I have 5 brothers. No, I don't mean about the body. I mean, I know I am. And I know I perceive. So then I turn my attention and say, aha, that's the direction. That is the direction to look in. And because I'm always perceiving, and I always am, it's always available to me. It's always available for me to turn my attention to that which is, that which perceives, the reality which perceives. So the mind always or often, let's say, refers to I, the reality that perceives, as Patrick, as Magdi, as the brain, as whatever. It refers, it objectifies that which it doesn't even know. The mind even creates a concept of consciousness. It says, oh yeah, I know consciousness. I know consciousness. I've had an experience of consciousness 2 years ago. It without noticing, it has created a form, a model, which is calling consciousness. Oh, yeah, I've had a great experience of consciousness 2 years ago. It's so great. I'd love to have it again. You see, it creates a model, like when they are building a new car, they make a model of the car, out of wax. I don't know. They make it, and they paint it and they make it look like, and then they take film of it. They take a picture of it to make the best model, the new model, you see. But the model is not the car. You follow, Patrick?
Yeah, very much so. Thank you very much.
Yes, yes. Okay. Any questions? Hello, Anna Maria. You are muted.
Yeah.
Oh, here you are. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know if you let. I would like to ask, because I have so much trouble with the part that you said, the celebration of life.
Yes.
It is okay for me to be experiencing everything and letting it pass. But when it comes to pictures that are celebration of life, are easy to put too much emotion and feel attached to, that's where I sleep. Sleep like a sliding person. I don't know if I should just keep on sleeping and eventually will go away, or just being in present in meetings like this will help me to just not get so kidnapped by the celebration images.
When you are celebrating and you are attaching yourself to an experience, it's like the child that goes with his parents to the circus, and he's having such a wonderful time, but then when it's 9 p.m. and time to leave, he doesn't want to leave, or she doesn't want to leave.
Yeah.
So you're spoiling the celebration. The celebration, you just have fun, you enjoy, you celebrate, you're amazed by the people who do all these things, they jump on ropes, and I don't know what they do. You are amazed by people who do things with the fire, etc. I don't know. But because you're having fun, but you're not a child, you see, you're not a child. So then you have to recognize whenever you are now attaching yourself, you are becoming attached to something, you need to recognize that at that moment, you have separated yourself from the happiness. Because in happiness, there isn't a subject and an object. There is just the happiness, the joy. Now, the joy can take on any form. It doesn't just take on the form of being in the circus, going to the circus. It takes also the form of going to the circus. It takes on the form of being in the car with friends. It takes on the form of, it takes on all sorts of forms, including being at the circus. So yes, there are experiences that are, yeah, wow, that was a great concert, or, that was really lovely to be in this museum and see these paintings, Yes, there are experiences like that. But in the celebration of happiness, we are the happiness. So whenever you notice that you are getting hypnotized by the experience, you need to contemplate that the I, which is being hypnotized by the experience, is Anna Maria, is the false, is what you separate yourself. You have a separate consciousness now, a separate consciousness that needs, or that is hoping or is counting or is attaching itself to some experience or to a repeat performance of the experience. In fact, all experiences appear and disappear, you see. So whatever you're attaching yourself to be can only be something new, because that which is gone, you see. And that which attach yourself, that you say is something new. In fact, that which is new, which is appearing, you cannot attach yourself to. You cannot attach yourself to it because it's not in time. The only way you attach yourself is via a mental formulation. You formulate a subject and an object. You formulate an experience, and you formulate a me who's experiencing its experience. And now within the mind, there is a subject chasing an object. But the directness of your experience is just a moment of eternity. There isn't an object and a subject. But although there is no object and subject, in your mind you're experiencing an object and a subject, and therefore you're experiencing an unhappy dream, a state of attachment, a state of lack, or a state of seeking, or a state of hoping, etc. And that experience, which is a mental experience, reverberates itself within your body. So you also feel within your body this lack, or this need, or this attachment, etc. So the entire process is, of course, it is an illusory process, but it's a process that we need to come to clarity about this process, so that we don't fall into under the illusion of being Anna Maria, of being somebody who's lacking, somebody who's seeking, somebody who's getting something out of a celebration. In the celebration, you're not getting anything out of celebration, because you are the celebration. You are celebrating. You see, you are the celebration. In this moment, this is celebration. It's a moment of celebration. We are celebrating life. We're celebrating our love for truth. We're celebrating our friendship, whatever, it doesn't matter. So in this moment of celebration, there isn't a me and a you, and I'm getting something and I'm not getting something. The mind may say, oh, I need to remember all that. I need to, oh, I'm feeling something. I need to record that feeling. But that's just BS, because in our experience, it's just like this. It's just this, and it's happy just like this, you see. And it's erased the moment it's arising, but the happiness is not erased. The happiness is not because of anything that we are saying. The happiness, in a way, one could say that the happiness is because we are interested in happiness, and because we are talking about happiness, so we are open to the happiness. And the more we, or I would say, the less we separate ourselves as a subject from an object, the less we do that, then our state is that now, peace and happiness. We imagine happiness to be something so wow, happiness is something so special, so crackers and fireworks and rainbow colors, etc. Happiness is natural. It's our natural state. It's our essential nature, you see. So the mind says, no, I don't know what he's talking about. I remember when I was happy, I was smoking a big thing and I was so happy, it was so wonderful, you say. The mind is always looking at some experience. It separates an object, a subject, and an object. And it says, happiness has to be yellow with green polka dots. If it's not yellow with green polka dots, I don't know what he's talking about. But that's a subject and an object. That's just an image. It's just mind stuff, you see. You see. So whenever you are attaching yourself to anything, it's a falsehood. You are referring to yourself in an incorrect way. You're referring to yourself as some mind projection, as somebody in time and space, So like the river flows, the river flows. The sound of the river. I don't know how it flows. It flows. This life is like a flow. And in the flow, we are the flow. We're not something. It's something that is flowing. We are the flow. So we are that movement and we are the stillness. We are the movement and the stillness.
Thank you. I have a friend that wrote a poem about Maya that captured me. And what you're saying is just not to imprison anything, just let things pass, be in the experience and just let things pass. That is very, very beautiful, very challenging still.
Yeah, but it's a fact that things pass. I mean, you look, where are these words you just pronounced right now? You just said right now. They're past, right? Aren't they past?
Oh, thank you. This is beautiful. As you were speaking, I was just seeing how many prisons of nonsense it has been created through the idea of imprisoning celebration.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Any questions? sometimes believe that happiness is a phenomenon. That it depends on something. But happiness is nominal, it's non-phenomenal. So what we enjoy is the happiness. What we celebrate is the happiness, is the nominal. And in the experiences that of joy and of happiness, we're not enjoying the object. We're enjoying the enjoyment. It's a subtle, it's a nominal aspect. So we have to be careful not to be lured by the mind who phenomenalizes everything, objectifies, materializes consciousness. And the first way in which it does that is it materializes consciousness as a person. That's really a hypnotism. It's a really hypnotism. I am man, a woman, a person, good, bad, etc. The objectification of consciousness is the myriad things arise out of that initial objectification. I am the body, and then there is the infinite worlds and minds, the infinite gross and subtle forms that arise from that initial belief. The glimpse into our true nature reveals the falsehood of this belief. And then we have to sort of investigate, continue to look and examine how this belief has nested itself in so many ways in our mind, in our life, in our activities, in our feelings, in our body, in our perceptions. So the crack, the initial crack in the cocoon brings in some light within the bubble. And then it's the beginning of the journey. And there is a process of contemplation and inquiry into this entire process until we become less and less prey to the mind that constantly says you are Magdi, you are this, you are that, you've done good, you've done bad, you do better, why did you do this yesterday, oh, you should better, you know, blah, 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 blah. She's completely unhappy. And you can drown this unhappiness via different addictions. You can get addicted to sex, to drinking, to drugs, to whatever. Addict yourself to money. You can addict yourself to many things. To only you numb the ache. You dullify the ache, but the ache is still there. And the mind still has that impression of separation across time and space. So this is not like, oh, well, you know, I've got 20 more years to live, you know, screw it, you know, who cares? No. It's your mission upon eternity. You have an eternal mission. Sometimes some teachers speak about the end of the search, but not a pseudo end of the search, not a temporary end of the search, not a partial end of the search, end of the sense of lack, end of the unhappiness, no. But the real deal, the real ending of the unhappiness. And because we are one as consciousness, one as reality, there's only one reality, one could say that this endeavor is not for oneself. It's not on behalf of any particular self. Because there is no particular self. It's significant to the whole. Of course, all words are limited, and that which can be spoken even by the sages is only a reflection of the unspoken. Well, thank you all. Very lovely to be with you. Frank, good to see you. Patrick, nice to meet you. Anna Maria. Hello, Holger. Karen. Hi, Karen. George. Charlie. Hi, Grace. Holly. Hello, Holly. Shiva. Salut, Shiva. Jared. Hello, Jared. John.
Thank you.
John and Marga. Hello, Marga. Amna. Hello, Amna. And Kestley. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you,
So-
Magdi.